All right, everybody, good morning. And happy Computer Science Education Week 2018. Woo! More, come on, come on. All right, so before we get started, I have to thank some very special folks for making this happen. First of all, thank all of you guys. Round of applause, thank you for everything that you're going to do in the future coders. Next, our friends at GE and Capital One, who are our presenting sponsors today, along with all of our other important sponsors and supporters of computer science education in Virginia and the initiative that is CS for VA. Today, that includes our partner for the 4th year, the Science Museum of Virginia. Also, we have to thank WTVR Channel 6, our media sponsor, who is live streaming this event to schools all over the Commonwealth and the Digital Dominion. I also want to thank all of our teachers. Without teachers, we don't have homework. What? Right, all right, homework. Yay, homework. We also don't get to do really cool things like today, though. So thank you, teachers, every day. And we also would like to get started with doing the cool stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. Speaking of teachers, we're going to now introduce another very important sponsor of today's event and another guest who together will have some very important news to announce. I'm going to call to the stage Greg Samuels, who is CEO of Solvaria and a member of Code VA's board, as well as Dr. James Lane. He's like the state's biggest principal. He is the state superintendent for public instruction. Guys, come on forward. Probably easiest and best to come around this way.
We're so excited to be here. So Solvaria is celebrating our 21st year in business and our 2nd year as sponsor of the Computer Science Educator of the Year. Our day jobs are serving as IT leaders for other organizations and providing expert data services to companies in Virginia, as well as nationally and internationally. Our other true passion is giving back to this great technology community. We recently hosted our 2nd annual Betting Big on Tech fundraiser, where the Richmond IT community raised over $22,000 for Code VA. This yearly event is the highlight of my calendar and one that gives me the greatest source of pride. My love for technology started back in 1985. Yes, kids, there were computers back in 1985. With my math and computer teacher, her name was Georgia Bennett. She was at Godwin High School. She fueled my interest in computers and encouraged me to seek a degree in computer science. After graduating from Virginia Tech in 1992, I've spent my entire career with great Richmond companies, Circuit City, Kiter-Stevens, just to name a few. That's why the CS Educator of the Year Award is very special to me and to Solvaria. James?
Good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Excited to be here for the kickoff of Computer Science Week. But our job is to recognize one of the most amazing computer science teachers in the state. The power of one teacher can and does make a difference in so many lives. Which brings me to this year's recipient, Farrah Faust. Farrah is an instructional technology specialist at Allenton Elementary School in Virginia Beach. To quote one of the nominating forms, Farrah's scope and depth of knowledge on how to integrate technology in lessons is amazing, and her knowledge of coding areas is massive. Teachers come to her daily for advice and expertise on her lessons. She has helped grade levels adapt content area portfolios with personalized learning opportunities rich with technology. We can't think of a more worthy recipient of the CS Educator of the Year Award than Farrah. And so students, thank you so much for what you do, but let's give it up for Ms. Faust and all teachers here in the room today. And now we'll introduce our recipient.
Yep. So it's with our great pleasure to call up and recognize Farrah Faust as the 2018 Computer Science Educator of the Year. Congratulations.
right to here? That way we're outside of it. And then the other way too. Let's face this way as well. Here we go. Let's give it up. All right, and we're through the first page of this whole thing. All right, now it's time to kick off the actual fun part of the event. That was fun for Farah. Yeah. First of all, you guys may have noticed that we have a spy theme this year with those signs as you came in. Mission Possible, or cybersecurity, and that is our theme this year. We've all heard of cybersecurity, right? Yeah, kind of important. Very important. It's how we keep our computers and ourselves safe. It's a part of computer science, and in Virginia, it's actually a part of the Virginia Computer Science Standards. And so we are going to be talking a lot about Cybersecurity Day today during the event, and we may have some guy here who looks kind of lost. This is Sergeant Mike Mariano. Sergeant Mike, why are you still here?
I'm looking for the silver meteor.
What is that?
I'm looking for the silver meteor train.
For the silver, so that, as you may have heard, it may not be coming in for a while. But let's watch a little bit of a video that is Mike's recent adventures here in the 21st century. Mike is from World War II.
Welcome to the Science Museum of Virginia.
Science Museum?
Yeah,
I thought this was a train station.
it hasn't been a train station for quite a while.
I need to catch the silver meteor back to New York.
Well, the Silver Meteor, that's a train that's left this station for the last time a long time ago. Where are you headed?
I'm hoping to see my family before I get shipped out overseas.
Well, I've got some good news and bad news. Come follow me. Can you tell me about some of the work you used to do?
I would send messages and receive messages that were in code, and then I would decipher those messages so anybody could read it.
Using this device?
Using this device. By setting these pins and lugs a certain way, then I could transmit a message in code, and then somebody on the other end would have the machine set the exact same way, and they would be able to read the message.
It's pretty incredible because you're talking about a type of coding that we still do in some ways nowadays, from sending texts to my friends or emails or getting video messages, that everything is done on here through computer coding sent to somebody else so that way they can read and understand it. If you want to know more, I know just the place to send you, the National Security Agency Museum near Washington, D.C.
So, Sergeant, in this case here, we have the oldest cryptologic device in the country. It's called the 18th century device. We also call it the Jefferson device because Thomas Jefferson is known to use a cryptologic device much like this one. It was such a powerful and effective device that we see 200 years later, the U.S. Army is designing devices much like the Jefferson device from the early 1800s.
And that's the same device that I was trained on, the M94. It's amazing how things have changed since 1944, but also how things have stayed the same.
In fact, I might have something that might be of interest to you. Here is an actual telegram that was sent after the surrender of the German forces, possibly sent and decrypted from a Sagava machine.
Sergeant Mike, how was your trip to the National Security Agency Museum?
It was swell, but I'm ready to go home now.
I think we might have to enlist some help for that. Future coders, can you help us figure out a way to get Sergeant Mike back home?
Now we're going to bring to the stage Dimitri Richardson, my favorite teacher, who's going to hopefully help Sergeant Mike get home and work us through an exercise, an activity now. I don't know what happened to our welcome, Dimitri. Come on now.
I think your wife may be a little upset about that one when I'm his favorite teacher, because, you know, she's supposed to be your favorite teacher. Hello, how are you today? Really? Are you here? Hold on, let's try that again. Hello, how are you today? Well, I am so happy to be here with you again this year. My name is Demetria Richardson. I am a 4th grade teacher at Bellevue Elementary, and my Bellevue Dragons are in the house today. Hey, Bellevue. right. So, if you look on page 4 in your cyber books, we might have a way to help Mr. Mike get back home. You hope so? Okay. I think we can do it. I think you could do it too. When he talked about working with Morse code, in computer science, we work with binary numbers all the time, right? Yes? Help me out. Who knows binary numbers? There's only how many of them? 2. There you go. What are they? 1 and 0. Very good. So we're going to use something like a binary code today to see if we can help. We're going to use, and if you look on your code book, you see Morse code alphabet. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to look at the letters and everything, but I want you to keep this in mind. If you see a dash, I'm going to stomp my foot. Okay? If you see a dot, I'm going to clap my hands. Okay? Got that? Yeah? Okay, let's see if you're paying attention. See if you can figure out what letter this is. Ready? Oh, see? I knew you guys are paying attention. Well, I'm going to clap out and stomp out a code. See if you can figure it out and see if we can help send Mike back home, okay? You got to pay attention. I'm going to do one letter at a time, okay? So that'll give you time to write it down in your book, okay? Ready? All right. First one. Ooh, let's try that again. Ready? Ooh, I heard it. Who said it? M. All right. There's your first letter. Ready? Here's your second. Ready? Ooh, oh, see, they're catching on. It's coming now. It's coming quicker. Okay. Ready? Here's your third letter. Oh, I heard it. What is it? T. Okay. They're doing it. Let's see. Ready? Fourth letter. Oh, ow. You guys are on point this morning. Didn't even have to drink any coffee. All right. Ready? Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. All right. We're getting there. Ready? Oh, this one's going to be a little difficult. Hold on. Let me see if I can do my coordination right, because sometimes I can't get it right. Ready? You guys are working it this morning. Okay, here we go. Ready? This one's a little hard. Ready? Oh, I heard it over here. What was it? 4. There you go, 4. Okay, here's the last one. Ready? You ready? You sure? Okay. What it was? 5. Okay. Now, if we put that all together, Meteor 45. Outstanding. I think that can help you get back home. Will it? It will? All right, guys, you did a fantastic job. Give yourselves a round of applause. Oh. There you go.
So Meteor 45, I believe that's your train, Mike. Could you stick around to show the kids your machine afterwards and then head out? Awesome, okay. So Sergeant Mike is going to be here for a little bit to show off how they did cybersecurity back in 1945. But now we're going to move to the modern times, and we've got a modern day cybersecurity expert here to introduce our next special guests. Justin Accarino is GE's Vice President of Global Security. Come on up, Justin, and help us out. Welcome.
Good morning. I'm Justin Acquero, as Chris mentioned, so thank you so much for the warm introduction here. I am the Senior Vice President of Cybersecurity at General Electric, which means I get to do some cool stuff. I get to have a team of hackers that get to break into jet engines and really cool stuff. So kids, when you guys grow up, if you stay in this career, you guys can do a lot of really neat stuff. But more importantly, I'm a father of 3 school-age kids that are benefiting in the state of Richmond from an early computer science education. I'm a computer science major myself, and I'm married to an amazing wife who is a public school teacher. So I know how hard it is sometimes, and the amazing and awesome work that everybody has in this room that are educators, so thank you. I mention this because not only is GE a proud sponsor of Code VA, but I'm also a proud sponsor of that and the work that the Commonwealth has been doing. When GE was looking for its location to put its security center and hub, we chose Richmond, Virginia, because of a lot of the progressive, view on education around computer science and what this state has been doing. Certainly I want to thank Chris and Rebecca and the whole Code RVA team for the amazing work they've done to kind of push that forward. So please, round of applause quickly for them. So GE was formed over 125 years ago with Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb, and we're no stranger to the innovation. Today, that light bulb has thousands of lines of computer code in it, those smart light bulbs that allow us to turn on lights via our phone, change the color, annoy our parents, and certainly, even in emergency situations, help in an emergency response with smart cities, right? But certainly the theme isn't just with light bulbs. That carries over to our jet engines, where we actually have lines of code and millions of lines of code embedded in jet engines, locomotives, even healthcare systems, which allow us to kind of power, cure, and heal the world. Fast forward to the future, guys, and one day, maybe your bed would have millions of lines of code, right? It gives you a whole new meaning to making your bed, right? Okay, scratch that off. I should have kept with the Fortnite joke. But the moral of the story here is, today we live in a digital society, right? And the importance of that is it's not about English or Spanish in the future. It's about whether you're doing Node.js or Python, right? You guys become the architects of our future. And there's a darker side to that future, right? And that's, kind of my specialty and area on the cybersecurity side. It's where you have criminals and nation states that are attempting to disrupt businesses and disrupt that innovation and disrupt that digital society of ours. So every day, our company and many other companies are dealing with that. And just as computer science is critical for GE, computer defense is even more critical, right? So what you guys are learning today and take you into the future will not only allow you guys to be digital architects, right, but also defenders. And with that said, I want to introduce two amazing individuals who are certainly no stranger to that, digital future. First, Abigail Spanberger, who is Central Virginia's newest Congresswoman, elected this past November. She represents many of you in Washington as she's being sworn in next month. But before going to Congress, Representative Spanberger lived an exciting life. She spent much of her career in the CIA. She worked protecting America from bad guys all over the world. And she knows a thing or two about the importance of cybersecurity. Joining with her is another expert who knows the importance of cybersecurity and staying safe online. Michael Watson is the Chief Information Security Officer for the Commonwealth of Virginia. Every day he works to keep Virginia safe, protecting the three branches of government from harm from criminals and hackers. And he knows a thing or two about education. His wife and his parents were all teachers. Great. Join me in welcoming them.
Thank you. Does this thing work? Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Abigail Spanberger, and I was just elected to Congress in Virginia's 7th District. But before that, I worked for the CIA. And as many of you probably know, the CIA, everything we were doing was collecting information and protecting information. So I do know a thing or two about cybersecurity, and I'm excited to have a conversation with Michael about that.
Hi, and my name is Michael Watson. I'm the Chief Information Security Officer. What I do is I pretty much make sure for Virginia that all of our data, all of our systems remain safe and online and are functioning, and I try to help other folks like Abigail try to make sure that give information to her to try to make sure things work the way they're supposed to.
So for this week, why is this important to you all? right? Because you don't have top secret information from the government like people working at CIA, other places have, but you do have information in your daily lives that you should keep secret and private, because that's the equivalent of what it is that we're talking about. And there's all sorts of security technology that has happened over the years. How many of you have ever used a key to unlock a door? All right, how many of you have ever used a password on a computer? Right? These are all types of ways that we keep our information secret and protected, and it's incredibly important, particularly as we go into the future where we have more and more information on our computer systems and out there.
Yeah, and as you guys are used to going online and interacting more and more in cyberspace, and as this part of your, I'm sure a lot of you use Chromebooks and other things in school, it's extremely important to make sure that you're keeping your system safe and you know what to look for when things are not working the way they're supposed to. Because when we talk about hacking, we talk about cybersecurity, a lot of times all it is trying to make a computer do something that it wasn't intended to do, right? So I know I've got 3 kids of my own, and my kids are always trying to get each other to do things to get themselves in trouble. Hacking isn't too much different. All you're trying to do is to make a computer do something to get somebody else in trouble. So it's interesting times.
And when you're looking at how it is that you can protect yourself online, it's really the building blocks of what you could do one day if you decided as a career you wanted to work in cybersecurity. Little things like if you are on the computer, have a password. When you're talking to someone, always know who you're talking to. These are things that keep you safe, but it's also the building blocks of keeping your information safe. And as you get older, you'll recognize there's a lot of information about you, your birthday, your full name, identification numbers. Like, those are the building blocks of keeping you as a person safe. But when I was a CIA officer, those were the same sort of things that we were doing to keep this country safe. Information that was incredibly important that we needed to keep safe. And so in CIA, it was a really interesting thing because we were not on the regular internet, because a good way to avoid being hacked is to not be on the open internet. And so it's a very interesting shift now to be in a world where I can carry my cell phone everywhere. Because back when I was a CIA officer, I would go to my building and I would leave my phone in the car, because people can't hack you if they can't access your phone, or if you don't have your phone with you. But so there's all these things, and it's really interesting seeing how the technology's changed and what it is that people can do to protect themselves. But also, if you imagine, there's so many careers out there where people are thinking creatively about ways to protect information, on paper or on the computer. And so it's amazing to see that there's so many kids who are getting exposed to computer science now, because the world is going to be just so full of opportunity when you are excited. And I hope you're excited about the opportunities that exist.
Do you guys have any last kind of advice or what kids could do to get ready for their future cyber careers?
So for one of the things that I always tell people is that there is room in cybersecurity for just about anybody, any type of expertise. As Abigail mentioned, like, creativity is key. So those folks that are artists and more in the creative arts area, there's plenty of room there. In fact,
any artists here?
Yeah.
Artists?
Yeah.
Artists?
Yep.
Yeah!
So it's some of the best computer scientists I know had not a computer science background. They were working in psychology and other. So even though that may not be a major focus, just keep it in mind. There's a lot of growth out there and a lot of interesting topics that you can bring your expertise to. So we've had our calendar contest where we've had some artists do some really great drawings, education of cybersecurity topics. There's tons of room out there, and it's a need that we have across the state and across the country. So please consider it.
Congresswoman?
I would say pursue things that are creative and interesting, because it all goes into technology. You can't create new things if you're not excited and looking to build things out creatively. And if you have somebody who's super technical, pair them up with the person who's creative, and together you can create really amazing things. So I would say, just be excited about the opportunities that exist and go out and work really, really hard. And thank you for welcoming us here today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you both for being here. thank you for being here when you're about to go travel. And I guess you're going to be busy today keeping us safe, right?
Yes.
And you're going to be busy making sure we're safe in the future. Thank you both. All right, next, I'd like to welcome somebody who relies a lot on cybersecurity to help your schools. Kevin Hall is the Executive Director of the Virginia Lottery, and he's here to introduce our next VIP guest. I feel like we all won.
Good morning. Governor. Thank you for having me here today. We're proud to help sponsor this event and other activities of Code VA. At the Virginia Lottery, we're in the business of providing fun for a really good cause. All of our profits go to support K-12 schools. So ranging from pre-K programs to school student nutrition programs, all the way up to career and technical education. Our lottery players help support what goes on in your classrooms every day. We appreciate that. In the past year, we were proud to turn over more than $600 million to the state. And over our 30-year history, our players have helped generate more than $9 billion for public education. The larger number didn't get as much applause. I don't understand. We also focus a lot on technology at the lottery. Not only are we looking for talented IT professionals, which I think many of you in this room are likely to become, we also use modern and secure computer networks to engage with our players and with the retailers who sell our products. As you know, because you're here, and as you'll learn more about today, anytime you use a technology connection with a consumer or with a business, you need to make sure it is secure. We also help provide technology in your classrooms and help with computer upgrades at the classroom level. For the students that are here today, I hope you enjoy what you learn, and I hope you'll come back to the Science Museum. This is a great facility with really cool exhibits. I also get to introduce a very special guest, an American success story. Virginia Education Secretary Carney came to America from Pakistan with his family when he was 10 years old. He served our country with honor in the U.S. Marine Corps. He served Virginia with honor in the classroom as a middle school teacher before he was appointed Secretary of Education by the governor. Here's a fun fact. Secretary Carney is the first Secretary of Education in recent history who was appointed right from the classroom. He also thinks computer science education is a pretty cool thing and is important for all of Virginia's students. So join me in welcoming Secretary of Education Carney.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, students, teachers, distinguished guests. Kevin, thank you so much for the Virginia Lottery and the kind introduction and all the great work you do. So please give the Virginia Lottery a round of applause. And I also want to recognize the person who's really worked hard with a lot of folks to put this event together and is a really big advocate for computer science education in Virginia, Mr. Chris Dovey. Chris, thank you. So in a minute, you'll hear from my boss, the governor. How many of you guys know who the governor is, students? Raise your hand. It's okay if you don't. Just raise your hand. Sorry. There you go. That's the governor right there. So you'll be hearing from him in just a minute. But I also want to recognize another amazing education advocate, the First Lady, Ms. Pam Northam. So as you know, this is National Computer Science Education Week, and students, how many of you have done some kind of coding in school? Some kind of a coding activity or class? That's great. That's great. Amazing. So our goal is to make sure in Virginia that everybody, starting from preschool all the way through K through 12, all the way through community college or four-year institutions, wherever students choose to go, that every single Virginian gets exposure to computer science. And Virginia is the first state that has actually started working on rolling and implementing computer science standards in the entire education continuum. And it is our hope and vision that computer science will become a core content that every student will be taking, just like you take your math or science classes. So you can clap about that. And it is because of great things like that and the great business environment we have in Virginia and the great leadership we have with the governor really taking the charge that we were able to attract a kind of a big company. You might have heard of them, Amazon, by any chance? So you can clap about that. But this is just the beginning. You know, we're going to have both big and small companies come to Virginia, and there's going to be a need for many of you to go into the computer science field. So we really hope that you consider that. It's a great career and everything. And I just want to kind of get an idea of how many high schooler students do we have here? All right. Middle school? All right. Elementary school? All right. Very good. Very good. So give the elementary school students a big round of applause for being awesome. So as you guys are moving along in your education career, you know, try to get as much exposure to computer science as you can. And you may want to consider doing that because it's really, really creative. It's not just about cybersecurity. It's not just about coding, but it's about being creative and innovation. And this is a discipline where you can do a lot of cool things to change the world for a better place. So definitely consider that. We'll be traveling all over the state to celebrate Computer Science Education Week. And we wanted to start right here in the Capitol, here in Richmond, with Richmond Public Schools, at this great event, and our great Science Museum. So I also want to thank the Science Museum for allowing us to be here today and hosting this event. Thank you so much.
And you know what? Before I bring up the next person, I want to say, I guess one of our speakers mentioned art as being very important to this. I'm going to give my sister-in-law a shout out. She is an artist. She graduated from VCU with a degree in art. Guess what she has done over her career? Guess who she's worked for? I'll just throw it out there. Anybody seen Star Wars before? She's worked for LucasArts. She is a computer scientist now, and she gets to create. She creates all of the things that she once did with paper and paint, and it's really neat. So here's someone else I'm going to bring to the stage who relies heavily on cybersecurity experts and who'd probably love if some of you future coders become cybersecurity experts. Allison Knox, come on down. Allison is with Microsoft, and she will wow, she is going to sneak on the stage the back way. She's going to introduce our next very special guests.
Thanks, Chris Dovey, who's our great champion of all things Code VA, and for all of your leadership. We're going to keep saying that to all of you. Let me ask you a quick question. How many of you would one day like a job involving computer science? Okay. And how many of you have an interest in jobs that start, at least in this state, around $103,000? Right. Awesome. And one last question before I get into our wonderful introduction. I want to tell you that today in this state, there are 38,000 jobs that are open requiring a background in computer science. So if you imagine all of you as that number of 38,000, just imagine you're all one job. Last year, the state graduated about 1,500 people with the background needed for those jobs. So do you know what? In your state right now, only in the first row of all these jobs would be eligible to take those jobs. And what we need in this state, and thank goodness you have the first family of STEM to lead on this, one day all of you will be able to take all of those jobs and earn a really great living. So I just want to thank everyone and let people know that when I go around the country on behalf of Microsoft and talk about the importance of computer science education, we advocate for it. We talk about Virginia. You are a leader in the nation for all the work that you're doing, and we continue to point to you and rely on you to show the country the way in making sure that every student gets at least one chance to one high-quality computer science high school course before they graduate. So with that, your leader is here today with the first family of STEM. Why are they the first family of STEM? His daughter, Governor Northam's daughter, Aubrey Northam, who's here today, she's a web developer. She's right there. And then his wife, the First Lady, Pamela, who's sitting right next to him, she's a STEM educator. She's right there. Oh, one away, sorry. So that's truly the first family of STEM. And then to top it off, your governor, the leader of this great state, the great Commonwealth, was a former neurologist. Current neurologist and focused on children, correct? And so he cares deeply about the welfare of children and this state. And moving forward, we thank you so much for pointing the direction for the entire country about the importance of these skills. So with that, Governor Northam.
Well, good morning. How's everybody doing? That's good. Thank you for the kind introduction, Allison, and thanks for all that Microsoft does here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And Secretary Carney, thank you so much for your words this morning. And Dr. Lane, we appreciate all that you're doing as our superintendent of schools. I am so proud to be with you this morning and really acknowledge our STEM family. And they were already introduced once, but perhaps some of you couldn't see them. But I'm so proud, you know, as any parent would be, of our daughter Aubrey. Aubrey is a web developer. She grew up in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and then went to the University of Virginia, and now she is a woman who codes. And so we are very proud of you, Aubrey. And my wife, our First Lady of Virginia, is a K-5 science teacher. She knows the importance of computer science. She taught it every day. So Pam, thank you for being with us today. And as was said, I am a pediatrician. I take care of children that have neurological issues. And our son, who is not here with us today, but he's in the hospital down in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. He is a neurosurgeon, so he also takes care of brain. So we have a family that is really involved in STEM education. We believe in science, and we certainly believe in computer science. I want to thank all of the students for being here today to help us really kick off what's an exciting week, Computer Science Education Week. And I also want to thank all of our teachers. And I've got a couple questions, if it's all right, just to kind of keep everybody involved. But my first question is a pretty easy question. How many of you in here are happy to be out of school today and here in the Science Museum? All right? All right, so we got a good consensus there. How many of you in here like your teachers? Raise your hands. Every hand should go up in here. Your teachers work so hard every day making sure that you have a great education and making sure that when you grow up, you can have a good job that you can support yourself with and your family. So I want everybody in here today to please give a large round of applause to all of our teachers in Virginia. When I was your age, I had dreams of what I wanted to do when I grew up. I wanted to fly Navy jets in the United States Army and even maybe someday be an astronaut. but because of some things in my life, mainly because I couldn't pass the vision test to fly, I became a doctor. But I like to ask children all the time, what do you want to be? Have you thought about that? What do you want to be when you grow up? And just a couple things. How many of you in here would like to be an astronaut someday? Raise your hand. Oh. Would you believe that right now we have a woman who is an astronaut who's on her way to the space station? I think that's pretty neat. So we need to give her a round of applause. How many of you in here want to be a doctor when you grow up? All right. How about a nurse? How would like to be nurses? You all can come on, this is a free world. You can vote. We gotta do something when we grow up. How many of you would like to design video games? All right. Now here's the question, and please don't break my heart. How many of you, when you grow up, want to be the governor of Virginia? All right, we got a couple, but you know, the point I wanted to make, thank you. The point that I wanted to make to you this morning is that no matter what you do when you grow up, you need to understand computer science. So many of our jobs right now are what we call STEM related, and I add an A if that's right. I call it STEAM, but science, technology, engineering, the arts, math, those are where the jobs of the future are. So things like cybersecurity, which Congresswoman Abigail Spanborough spoke to you about, things like artificial intelligence, things like unmanned aerial systems, what we call drones. Would you believe this? How many of you all have ever eaten in Chipotle? All right, Chipotle. How many have you ever had a burrito? So real soon, listen to this is pretty neat. Real soon you will be able to sit at home with your little phone, with your app, order an item of food, and it will be delivered right to your front doorstep via a drone. Is that pretty neat or what? And so in order to be able to grasp that concept, we need to all understand how computers work and the importance of computer science. So the reason that I'm here today to be with you, this is an exciting day and it's an exciting week for Virginia. We're here to launch Computer Science Education Week. It will be from December the 3rd through December the 9th, and we will really try to encourage everybody, all of our schools, all of our classes, the importance of learning how to code, the importance of computer science. So thank you all again for being here, and I brought a proclamation today with me, and Aubrey, thank you for carrying that up here to the stage, but I'm not going to read this entire proclamation, but Chris, please, you all please come forward, and I will present this to you. But this proclaims that the week of December the 3rd through December the 9th, 2018, in our Commonwealth of Virginia is Computer Science Education Week. So thank you all so much for all the work you do. Thank you all. And when you continue with your education, something that I encourage our students all the time, you can be whatever you want to be. Just work hard, listen to your teachers, listen to your parents, and do great things here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. So congratulations for being here tonight or today, and I wish everybody a peaceful and happy holiday season. Thank you all so much. Thank you very much.
And we've got one more special thing. The governor and his family are going to be doing a tour of the state of Virginia over the next week, seeing computer science happening in schools and industry. And to kick that off, we're about to show you a very cool video as they tour the Digital Dominion.
Welcome to Virginia, the Digital Dominion. Virginians have always been explorers, revolutionaries, innovators. And our next generation continues to explore and innovate, solving human problems using the power of computer science. Come take a trip with us around the Commonwealth explore and learn about Virginia's amazing contributions to science, technology, engineering, and math that drive our future. In Hampton Roads and the Eastern Shore, our nation's first explorers arrived more than 400 years ago. At NASA's Langley Research Center, with the help of a few hidden figures, Virginia launched America's pioneering space program. And today, computer science helps drive the next innovations in aerospace at Langley and at Wallops Island Flight Facility. The internet began for most Americans with Northern Virginia-based AOL. Today, the region is home to Google, Amazon Web Services, Apple, Oracle, Micron, and many other high-tech companies that make it the bullseye of the internet. How does the driverless car cross the road? At Virginia Tech, cyber explorers are navigating smart roads to help answer that question. Virginia is for unmanned systems. In Southwest Virginia, coal and agriculture fuel our Commonwealth and our world. Computer science now drives our combines. Computer science meets climate science and biology, sowing the seeds of the future of farming. Our dynamic digital dominion truly is the crossroads of computer science. And in 2016, Virginia's lawmakers came to Richmond and together recognized that our state, with its highest density of computer science jobs in the country, is the nation's backbone for future STEM innovation. Virginia became the first state to mandate computer science as an essential literacy for all children, kindergarten to graduation. In our digital dominion, visitors come to see the achievements of yesterday and today. Tomorrow's explorers, discoverers, innovators, and creators will have the tools and the know-how to lead Virginia into our next 400 years. Computer science across this great Commonwealth is computer science for all.
And that's it, folks. Happy Computer Science Haitian Week 2018.